Okay, so if you please go ahead and join the group. I'm joining from my laptop so that we can continue on for the next 20 minutes here. And so Cyril and Juliet have been assigned to speak for these two groups. And let me open up the file here on my computer. And so, yeah, that's it, 3 or 4 or 5. Okay, so view. No, that's not it. That's what I want. Sorry. 3, 4. Okay. And then, okay, so you can all hear me, right? I think I'm gotta make sure that you can hear me because, and it's a built-in microphone. Okay, right. Okay, so, and so please, I think we can start. If I use the microphone, do you hear me better that way? Or do I need to, does this not have any relevance to?
For us, no.
Okay, but like, I don't know if that basically, because I'm not using the Zoom on the classroom computer now, I'm using my laptop. And okay, so we had Juliet. Juliet, are you there, Juliet?
Yes, I'm here, sir, but we didn't have time to do anything with.
Oh, we didn't do smart attendance. Oh, no. Okay, Juliet, just a second. We're going to do smart attendance. And we go to log in. And we go to introduction. We go to attendance. And room 5, smart attendance. And your number is 605. 605 is your smart attendance number. So let me put that in, 605. Here's your smart attendance number. Okay, Juliet and anyone who wants to help her. Let's look at that exercise again and ask Juliet to speak.
Yeah, but sir, we didn't have even 1 minute to do it together.
Okay, well, you want another minute? Okay.
But, yeah,
Yeah, it's just that I don't know
so
what
give me another
happened, but
minute.
I was ejected from the
yeah,
Zoom.
same.
Okay, so you can see, or 2 minutes. So talk to each other, communicate with each other, help Juliet, help Cyril. So you can communicate, right? Through your computers or through your smartphones. I don't think I can recreate the, let me see what happens if I try to create breakout rooms, see what happens here on my computer here. No, it's not the same. Sorry, forget about that. Let me see. So I think it was Juliet and I can't remember, Anais and Mike, who else was up here? How about this? How about I allow you to choose the room that you're in based on what you were assigned earlier when I was on the classroom computer. So you can join these room 1 or room 2 based upon what room you were in when I was logged in on the classroom computer. And I know in room 1 we had Juliet and then we had in room 2 we had Cyril or Kirill, and the other 2 groups, I think, I mean the other students, I can't remember which room you were in. So please join. You can join based upon what you recall. I think Chung Do Jin was in room 2. And Joe Jean and Micah and Yi Ju Young. Micah, were you in room 1 or room 2? Okay, so I'll assign you room 1. And Zhou Wujin, which room are you in? Yi Ju Yang, which room are you in? Zhou Wujin, Yi Ju Yang. Zhou Wujin, Zhou Wujin. Okay. And so help each other, help Juliet, help Kitty, so they look good. You have 60 seconds. Okay. And so back to the, I mean, it's supposed to be fun after all. It's not really. Okay, so Juliet, which member of Congress is Section 2 talking about?
The House of Representatives
Well, yeah,
or
good,
Congress.
good. Well done, Juliet. Yay! And so it says here, what role is missing here?
I didn't find this one.
Shall be composed, electors, no person shall be. Oh, okay. So what goes in space 2? So you put House Representatives in 1. What goes in space 2? What is the word that's missing here?
I don't know. I didn't find this one.
Congressmen, or representatives, right? Who shall not have been attended.
Oh, okay, yeah.
How old do you have to be to be in the House of Representatives? Anybody from room 1, Juliet?
Isn't it 18? But I'm not
25
sure.
years old, right?
Oh, yeah, totally not. So,
And been 7 years a what? 4. What's missing word there?
7 years.
Citizen.
A
Citizen,
citizen.
yeah, citizen of the United States. And who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of that state in which he shall be chosen.
In which he shall be chosen. I don't know.
I think it means shall not have been a citizen less than 7 years. You have to be a citizen for at least 7 years of the I think of that's, oh, I think it means you have to be legally resident in the state that you're representing. I have to go back and check, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably that you have to reside in the state for at least
Yeah,
7 years
okay.
to be able to represent it.
Good, good. Yeah, it asks you to put this in simpler terms, which it is kind of confusing, right? And it's not even written in the old English form. Section 3, 1A of the United States shall be composed of 1B, 1B from each state, chosen by the legislature thereof for 6 years, and each shall have 1 vote. No person shall be who shall not have been attained the age of blank years and been blank years a citizen of the United States, and who shall not, when elected, be an inhabitant of the state for which he blank shall be chosen. So what goes in 1A?
Senate, the Senate.
Yay, yay, okay. What goes in 2?
There is 1B before, no?
I think you have to be 30 years of age, at least 30 years old to be a senator.
Okay.
And you have to have been a citizen, blank years, a citizen of the United States. How many years?
No, but in fact, there's a word before. There's 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think 1A was Senate and just 1B was senators.
2 senators, yes.
Yeah.
So how many years do you have to be a citizen of the United States before you can become a senator? Is it
I
7 or 10 years?
I'd say 7, like the House of Representatives, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have to go back and look at that file, which I don't have in front of me right now, and we only have 7 more minutes before class is over.
But which age should they be to be able
They have to be at
to?
least 30 years
Okay,
old
thank you,
to be a
thank you.
senator. It's in the file, and the other one I sent earlier. Yeah, it references he, right? Of course, at this time, women couldn't even vote. But it said the first woman to be elected to this chamber, the House of Representatives, was Hattie Caraway of Arkansas in 1932. So no, not that long ago. During the Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration, when the Democratic Party swamped the Congress because of the failure of the Republican Herbert Hoover administration to deal with the Great Depression. Each house may determine the rules of its proceedings. So the question is, who makes the rules for how the House and Senate do their jobs? And it's pretty straightforward. It's so straightforward, it's not obvious. The Rules Committee, right? I think it's the Rules Committee in each, of course, the Rules Committee have to have their proposals approved by the Congress. So the Congress makes its own rules for how to proceed. There's nothing really in the Congress, in the Constitution about how the Congress carries out its business. And it's typically based upon the inherited rules from the British House of Commons, the British Parliament. And if any of you go further in American debate, I don't know what you use, like how you're taught the rules of deliberative debate, deliberative assembly. But the book that is assigned in the US is called Robert's Rules of Order. And Colonel Roberts wrote down these old implicit traditions about how a deliberative assembly considers a bill, talks about it, amends it, votes on the different parts, and then passes it. And it's called Robert's Rules of Order. And I know this because I was the parliamentarian at the Catholic University of Korea when I was there. So I became very familiar with Robert's Rules of Order because that was the book that describes how you're supposed to carry out your debate and voting and in the deliberative assembly. So there you see Robert's Rules of Order. And he says at the introduction that this was basically taken from the British Parliament and then adapted to the US Congress. So they're quite old. So Robert's Rules Starting Guide, Robert's Rules of Order in Action, Robert's Rules of Order in brief, Robert's blah, 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 blah. Okay, so on to the next page. And Kirill. Oh, and yeah, so it says here, if the Senate wants to expel a member, how many senators have to agree?
By the way, even though I'm not supposed to make this part, I don't really get the question because I feel like the answer is already in the text, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess 2/3.
Yeah, because it already says
last time it ever
2/3.
happened, though. I mean, if it happened, it was long. It was in the 19th century at some point. Okay, kiddo, since we're running out of time here, we have 3 minutes. Read each statement, decide if it is about the House of Representatives, the Senate, or both. Write the letter on the diagram. So members represent an entire state. Is that the Senate or the House?
I would say both. Well, Senate then.
Yeah, Senate, okay. Bills about taxes and money must start here. House or Senate?
House of Representatives.
Good, ding, 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 ding. Approves presidential appointments.
The Senate.
Ding, 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 ding. Members represent citizens.
The House of Representatives.
Ding, 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 ding. Serve 2-year terms.
The same.
Ding. Passes bills to the president to become laws.
The Senate.
Next answer.
Well, the House of Representatives, I suppose. It's
both.
both.
The House
Both?
and the
Yeah.
Senate.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure.
Serves 2-year terms.
We already answered to this.
Oh, sorry. Okay. There are 100
Senate.
members of this
Senate.
chamber.
Yeah, it's 435 and 100.
There are 100 members of this chamber. Which one?
Yeah, I'm saying the Senate because the House of
Oh,
Representatives
right.
is
Each can
435.
override a presidential veto with a 2/3 vote of support.
The Senate.
Next question, next answer.
House of Representatives.
Both. Remember, both is an option here, okay?
Mm-mm-mm.
Must be at least 25 to serve in this chamber.
House of Representatives.
Ding, led by the Vice President of the US.
The Senate.
Ding, leaders called the Speaker.
House.
Yes, and of course, the Speaker of the House of Commons is also borrowed from the Congress, the US, the British House of Commons. It's called the Speaker. The bills below are based on ideas found in real-life bills aimed at addressing the opioid addiction crisis. Follow the directions to see where common ground might be found. Read both bills, circle the parts that the two versions have in common. So fund addiction treatment programs by taxing companies that make opioids, require training on specific topics for providers, limit prescriptions to a 10-day supply with no refills, require the diagnosis be treated with opioids to be clearly stated in the prescription. And then the Senate passed a bill that's not completely the same. Impose a fee on people convicted of making or distributing opioids illegally used to fund addiction treatment programs, require 12 hours of training for providers registered to prescribe opioids, limit prescriptions to a 7-day supply with no refills, require practitioners to prescribe a non-opioid painkiller first. Hundreds of thousands of people died in the US from opioid overdoses because of over prescription by doctors of these pain relievers based upon heroin, basically. Opium. Find a solution. Decide on 2 compromises that could be made and write them below. This will be your compromise bill. So this is going to be difficult to do here. This takes some time and we're out of time. So you can see how the compromise committee, that is really important. And it does a lot of work. And because they have to reconcile these bills and then have to go back and be approved by both houses. And so you can argue that is that promotes creativity, and particularly I think at that time, everybody pretty much, at least those who voted for the legislation, both the House and the Senate, they want something to be passed. So they have a strong incentive to compromise in the compromise committee, conference committee, I'm sorry, to compromise, and then the compromise goes back to the House and the Senate and have to vote again to pass that legislation, and then it goes to the president for his signature or veto. At that point, we have to stop because I think somebody's going to want to get in here, and they want to get in here. So I have to shut down. Okay. So that's all for today. Bye.